And you know what's a word that really gets overused by game reviewers when they're describing something they played? Charming. Charming just seems to be that placeholder for that feeling where you don't know how to describe why you love something, you just love it. It's this all-encapsulating feeling of this is cute, or it's adorable, or it made me smile, or all three of the above. And that's how I think I'd describe Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and more. It's just where I'd start. That is what kept me going. Like, I had played other Final Fantasy games before, Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX being them, and it was gonna be hard-pressed to top 9. But the more I look back on it, the more that initial reaction wasn't quite on point. And that feeling of apprehension is like, whoa, this is strange and odd, and I'm not sure if I like this. But I did. The more I got into it, the more I played, the more of that world I experienced, the more I realized that this is probably my favorite Final Fantasy game, even though I had absolutely nobody to play it with. That's a really big detriment too. Like, this game is designed to be played with other people. It's almost like Triforce Heroes in the sense that you are missing out on a big part of what makes it so special if you don't have other people. It ignited this feeling in me. I wanted to find people. I asked all my friends at the time, hey, would you like to come by my house and play this game? And sadly, nobody seemed interested. And I've got no idea why, honestly. Like, will you look at what's in this strategy guide? Let's just flip through these pages here. Okay, we've got all kinds of... There are details about, like, creating your character. You can be one of 4 different races. You can play as a boy or a girl. You can choose the profession of your family. They can have all kinds of different things they do in this world, which actually affects the resources that are available to you, which items you're going to be looking for. There are different random events you can encounter as the years go on. This is a role-playing game. This is what an RPG actually looks like. That's it, distilled to its essence. It ignited in me as a child the feeling of it's that nerdy feeling of wanting to get together with a bunch of other people and escape the real world, to play a role. This was my Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. At least I wanted it to be. This is a world I got utterly and totally absorbed in. And I think it helped. More than the fact that it felt like this was my story more than anything else. The fact that this world was, well, just so charming. The soundtrack is one of my absolute favorites, period. And considering what we've seen so far on this list, that is a really, really big statement. But I love the simple instruments. I love that opening song, the English version. I've heard the Japanese version and it's just not the same. I love those sort of Celtic instruments, I guess you describe them as, that sort of Highlands feel to it. It's a setting that doesn't feel like other games. It has this something to it. It has this aesthetic, I guess you describe it. It doesn't look like other games. It doesn't feel like other games. It has this... Even the bog standard, like, green riverway you go through. 1, that has the element of water going for it. 2, it has this mist covering it. It has this allure, this mystery. This feeling like you don't know what's going to come next. And then there's the premise. The very concept of the game itself. You're not some chosen warrior who has to save the entire world, who has the blood of ancients coursing through their veins. At least, I don't think it gets to that point. I never actually beat the game. Found myself lacking motivation without other people. But you are just a kid. You are a warrior from a village. It's not so much the planet you're trying to save as much as your little piece of it. the people who are close to you, your family members who give you that shop, who give you those resources that help you do this adventuring thing a lot better than you could otherwise, that write to you while you're on the road and send you items. These are the guys whose fate is on your shoulders when you go out to collect these droplets of myrrh, it's called, so you can purify the crystal that keeps your town safe from the mist, the miasma, the thing that just wrecks, destroys the rest of the world where the crystals are not. Life is not safe from this stuff, and you're just doing your best to survive in a world that is surprisingly harsh when you get down to it, and yet surprisingly lighthearted at the same time. Plus there's lore. I found so much lore just from the descriptions you get when you go to an area for the first time. It feels simultaneously like you're having a story read to you, like you're going on an adventure, like you're listening to... like you're traveling to across the ocean to another culture that you've never seen before. This game hit me with so many surprises, so many things I had never seen, heard, or felt. And it just stuck with me. For years and years and years, it stuck with me. One of these days, I want to play through the entirety of this game with 3 other members of Team Pizza. I want to record that, I want to stream it, I want to do whatever. It's going to happen. I don't know when, but I am going to convince these guys to do it with me. That is a promise I can keep to you guys. Don't hold me to when, though. I don't want this to be another RTG's 25.